In Europe, there is a problem of racism, and we all know it. But the question is, what are we doing about it? In Italy specifically, racism and discrimination of the other are so embedded in the social and political arena that it has become the norm.
European nations have laid the foundation for a history of colonization, a history of slavery, a history of dehumanization of people of African descent and other non-European people. This history of slavery and colonialism still manifests itself throughout institutional racism in subtle and sometimes very explicit ways.
As we look at the situation of black people in this country, we find that black people are disproportionately affected by racism in the education system, in the housing system, and in the healthcare system, and of course also in the context of racial profiling, which is on the rise in the context of increasing securitization across the country.
I think the issue that struck me the most when reading through the Shadow Report was the extent to which structural racism exists against persons of African descent and black Europeans within European member states.
Mainly people are discriminated, in particular people of African descent. They are unable to access employment, or they are faced with a lot of exploitation and discrimination when they are in employment, and these really need to be looked into.
Worryingly, Afrophobia is growing more and more due to the migrants' challenge to a model of Europe as fortress, to the impoverishment of many European citizens, to the political and mediatic speculation of the fear of common people. Those factors feed hate speech, hate crimes, and clashes among different groups defined by the ethnicity.
As a public figure in France, I was targeted by a call for rape in 2013, and I decided to use justice to make the person who authored the threat accountable for that. And I was fortunate because the justice have been able to find him and to put him on court.
I want to address to European policymakers, if this really matters to you, implement drastic, specific measures to tackle this.
To ensure that people of African descent are involved in all levels of decision-making processes, and in particular, they are represented in all public sphere.
To enable them to have a good education, decent housing, and be politically relevant and active. A first step to be able to do this is to amend the legislation regarding the acquisition of citizenship, which will allow many second-generation Black Europeans to find their place in society and consequently move forward from there.
We need to remind governments across Europe of their human rights obligations.
Promoting equality in a pluralist society is not a negotiable goal. Social inclusion and social cohesion are conditions to get wellness and peace. So preventing and fighting Afrophobia and every kind of racism is crucial to protect not only the Black European population, but to make better the whole European's life.